All right, you guys, we are continuing on with the building your own puppet series. We've already done the heart and soul of the puppet, which is the body, and we're ready to move on to the next step. So, to complete the body, to really finish it off, we're going to be doing the hands and the arms in one video. So, you don't have to go to my Etsy page and buy the patterns. If you buy the patterns, I am going to include two really cool, unique hand patterns. And you know, like this one right here, it could be like a little alien or something, or maybe like a spooky monster. We have another puppet pattern right here that could be like a dinosaur hand or something. And then of course just a standard human hand here. So I'm gonna always emphasize this: when you go to print, make sure that you have your printer selected. Don't mess with the pattern here or with the actual size of the document. These patterns are meant to be printed on standard regular paper, so don't do fit, don't do shrink oversized pages, don't do custom scale. Always do actual size, and it's going to print perfectly. Okay, so once you're done with that, we're just going to go ahead and move over to the table. All right, you guys, we're going to need pattern weights. We're going to need a Sharpie. And with the hand patterns that you printed out, go ahead and cut out the one that you want. So we're doing it's a regular human hand. This is probably going to be the most popular one. This pattern will be available on my Etsy page. It's a really simple hand, so you don't need to buy this. If you want to just go ahead and make your own hand pattern, that's perfectly fine. The principles and the techniques in this video will help you along the way, regardless of what your hand looks like. However, I think these instructions will be very helpful, and again, I will super duper appreciate you supporting the channel, supporting the puppetry. All right, so with that being said, let's go ahead and once we cut out our hand pattern, I'm gonna go ahead and place some weights, some pattern weights on it, and I'm still gonna use my finger to apply a little bit of pressure around the pattern. Okay, let's go ahead and cut this out. Okay, so we have our hand pattern. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this in half, and I'm going to put armature wire between these two. And with this extra foam, don't throw it away. We're going to use this, cut it up into little pieces, and we're going to stuff it into the actual arm of the puppet. And that's going to give it volume. It's going to give it flexibility. It's going to give it a little bit of a bounce. It's going to give it a life, if you will. It's going to look really, really cool. So we're going to get back to the hands in a second. Let's go ahead and do our very, very simple arm. All right. So once again, we're going to be writing on this fleece, which is the skin of the puppet. Now remember, there's two sides. There's the yucky side. This is more flat, kind of lifeless. And then there's a furry side. Okay, so this is what we're going to see. So we're going to be making the marks on the yucky side of the fleece or the skin of the puppet. And of course, when we are writing and making our marks, notating, you know, this is the neck, this is the back, yada, 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 I like to use a fabric marker, a nice one, a high quality one that matches or as close to the color of the skin of the puppet in the event that there's bleed through, or maybe you don't have high quality fleece, and whatever it is that you mark up, like if you were to use a dark black one on a white piece of fleece, you could, you know, have bleed through and you're gonna ruin it. Yeah, I like to use this, so we're gonna use this. All we're gonna need is scissors, the marker, and a straight edge here. So the best way to do the hands, I've found a lot of success doing it this way, and it looks really darn good. It looks really darn good. So let's go ahead. So we want 4 inches across. Okay, and we want about 10 and a half to 11 inches in length. Okay. So around right there should be good. Okay, so this is going to be our arm. So let's just go ahead and flip it over. Make sure the lines. All right, so there's our 4 inches. Okay, perfect. So this is the arm. I know it doesn't look like much, but you know me, I'm full of surprises. Let's go ahead and get our seam guide to make our seam allowance. We only need it on 2 sides. So again, you don't need a seam allowance if you are going to be doing this entirely by hand, which is totally possible. I'm going to be putting the hand together with my Juki TL2000. So we're going to need a seam allowance. So I think right here is good. I mean, it doesn't have to be aggressive. You know, let's get some pattern weights on this so it doesn't shift around on me. All right, perfect. So we're gonna need two of these because we have 2 arms. All right, so we have our 2 identical arm pieces. So this is one arm and this is the other. Let's go ahead and cut these out. All right, perfect. So now we have our arm patterns. In the way that this is going to be sewn on the machine, going to flip them out like this. Going to do just a quick straight stitch there. Same with this side. Same right here. All right, let's get to it. All right, you guys. So we just sewn our two little arm patterns together using the sewing machine. Let's go ahead and remove this excess thread. We're not going to need any of that. Okay, this looks really darn good, you guys. This looks really darn good. All right. So what we need to do is invert this to the proper side. So I like to use this little this tool here. There's going to be a link in the description and the actual name for it. I always forget the name of this product, but it is pretty darn useful and it comes in multiple sizes. Oh no, I lied. This is how it works. This is how it works. Yeah. Then pinch it together like that. This is really challenging to do when you are you have a camera right above you. There we go. Boom. There's the arm. Do that again. Alright, awesome. So now we have two arms. And the way that I like to do my arms, and again, you can do your arms however you want. It's your puppet, your build, etc. However, this is what I like to do, and I think the results, you know, they speak for themselves. So what I like to do is use one of these little clips here. Yeah, actually, these are kind of yucky. I'm not going to use these. I'm going to end up ruining the fleece. So we'll get some of these clips. I gotta throw those away. Those had rust and stuff on them. No, thank you. I could probably use them in the garage for whatever, but I can't use them for this. Okay. So the reason why we're gonna close this off is because we're gonna start stuffing this. Okay, we're gonna stuff this. Now remember, throughout the process of creating a puppet, we create waste. Okay, so I mean, what are you really realistically going to do with extra foam like this? Nothing. You're going to chuck it in the trash. However, don't do that. Okay, I like to be environmentally conscious. Oh my god, environmentally cautious when building the puppet. So I like to be aware, okay, of the waste that I produce, and it's always important to not waste material if need be. So we're going to take the excess foam, this high density foam, and we are going to go ahead and stick it into the puppet. Alright. Now this is where that Sharpie can come in handy. Just go ahead and stuff it in there. You don't want to go too overboard with it. And if you go a little too overboard with it, you can always you know, remove the little pins here, little clamps, and you want to kind of have this. You want this as even as possible, because you don't want like really big right here, but then like super scrawny everywhere else. That'll look weird. You don't want that. So yeah, I just really like this. I like to cut up the foam in little pieces, so the arm can move about a little bit more freely, a little bit more naturally. Because I've seen certain creators, certain puppet builders use just like one foam piece and then you stick it in there. I think that's it's incredibly difficult to do, for one, and again, I just feel like it constrains the motion, the natural motion of the puppet. I think this is, you're gonna get a lot a more fluid. You're gonna get more fluid movements from your puppet doing it this way, and again, you ultimately you get to control how, you know, how thick the arm is gonna be. And again, if you don't want to use that much foam in here, that's perfectly fine. Another substitute for the foam would be excess fleece. Again, we don't want to be wasting material if you don't have to. So I'm very, very cautious as to where I'm cutting on my fleece. Okay, so getting jammed up in the middle. That's what I'm talking about. So we can go ahead and just go ahead and start shoving it in from here, and then we can go ahead and clamp it up so it doesn't spill out. Okay. Oh, wait. Hold up. I almost messed up. Okay, thank God. All right, so in order to get the arms seated, to get them seated up against the body, we're going to snip this. We're going to fold it like here. And we're going to cut up like that. Okay? There's nothing here. Oh man. There's a reason why I got these out. The more aggressive, the better. Perfect. Now we got to do the exact same thing. So we already have a template, a makeshift template right here. Perfect. All right. So we can go ahead and continue. I almost made that mistake. But yes, this is going to go up against the arm. This is going to go up against the body. And it's going to look really good. Again, just trust me on this, you guys. Just trust me on this. All right, let's continue stuffing. I'm going to shut up. All right, so we're gonna finish up this end of the arm first, okay? So we're gonna need some hot glue. We're gonna keep these to the side in case you want to add a little bit more volume on this end. And toss that out. And yeah, give me 1 second to get the other material to finish up this end of the arm. All right, you guys. Now it is time to make the mechanism which makes this puppet so special, which is its modularity. So what we need to do is get a sheet of this silicone rubber gasket thing. I'm going to leave a link in the description. It's one of the few things I actually got on Amazon. We're going to need some shoelaces, so I'm just going to use this white shoelaces. This is actually kind of long. But, I mean, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. You're going to need 2 shoelaces, like I said. You're also, I'm also going to advise you get a punch set like this one right here. It's got a bunch of these little circle punches, and it works really well. You can obviously figure out a different way to cut holes and do this without having to spend money, but I use this. Oh, hold on 1 second. Let me go ahead and turn on the light. Let's just brighten it up just a little bit. And go ahead and name this over here. Give me 1 second. Okay, let's go ahead, and we need 2 of these little circles. So I like to cut them close to each other so I'm not wasting any material. I want this to last as long as humanly possible, so I'm holding it firm. With my left hand, I'm pushing down. All right, so what you want to do is get the little gasket that we punched out. Oh, let me go ahead and... Alright, so I cleared out everything. So we cut out a little circle gasket silicone rubber thing. This is what's going to hold the whatchamacallit, the mechanism in which the puppet is able to be assembled and taken apart for maintenance and for changing clothes. So you're gonna do one big cutout, one circle, and then two little circles. The circles only need to be big enough for your desired shoelace to go through. So it doesn't really matter what color you pick. Preferably you'd want something that would match the puppet itself, but honestly guys, it doesn't really matter that much. So you just want to go ahead and thread the shoelace through the little gasket, okay? And you want these to be even, so one side is obviously much longer. And we got that problem again. Let's pull just a little bit. Pull one more. Alright, perfect. So now this is perfectly even. Okay, so now the mechanism is pretty much ready to be installed into the hand here. And I'm going to show you guys exactly how we go about doing that. So essentially, we are going to use a very unique stitch around the edge here of this on this end of the arm, and then once we have that done, we're going to put hot glue in there, and then we're going to place the shoelace gasket mechanism just how I'm showing you, just like this. Okay, the shoelace, one end of the shoelace is going to be on top, the other one's going to be on the bottom. So once we have it in place right there, we're going to put more hot glue right here around the center, and then probably around the edges here. And then we're going to go ahead and close this up, and it's not going to go anywhere. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that. I just preemptively got this one done. My camera got knocked out, so I had to... Luckily, I didn't do this one, so I'm going to show you exactly how we do that. So give me 1 second. Alright, so we already went ahead and we got our little gasket pieces, okay? So we got two gasket pieces, we punched two holes into them, and then we assembled the mechanism in which our puppet is afforded the ability to become modular. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and set that to the side. This one is almost pretty much done. I'm just waiting for this hot glue to be really like dry. And it's not there yet, so we're going to set that to the side. We're going to pretend that doesn't exist, you guys. We're going to pretend that doesn't exist. Let me go ahead and light this up a little bit better. I'm going to show you how we get to this point, because this is basically the end of the arm, and this is basically what goes up against the body. But I got to be really careful because I got a needle here, because we gotta seal that up in a minute. I mean, I could probably leave it as is, but no, we're not done yet. All right, so how do we get there? So first off, we're going to need a needle. All right, we're going to do some hand sewing. Let me find the right one. Okay, I think I found a decent one. Oh, no, it's too small. Here we go. We got a couple right here. All right, that's good enough. That's going to work. All right, and I like to use invisible thread. You absolutely can use the thread that matches the color of your puppet, okay? However, I've had a lot of success with the invisible thread. Wow, I can't. It's so invisible. I can't even find where the hell it is. Wow, that's embarrassing. Wow, that's really freaking embarrassing. Okay, so I have no idea what the hell just happened, but I had invisible thread, and it was so invisible I couldn't get it, so I had to get another one. I'm gonna leave that to the side. All right, so go ahead and get our needle ready. And we're going to go ahead and double knot this. The reason why I like using invisible thread, it's because it is incredibly strong. It is difficult to see. And, you know, this is part of the puppet that is, you know, heavily, how do I put it? It gets a lot of use, you know. There's a lot of wear in the arms. So if you can use more robust materials, By golly, you should. Alright, so back on this end over here, we're going to go ahead and like quadruple knot this thing, okay? The reason why you want a big old knot at the end is because you don't want the thread to go through the fleece and then your puppet becomes undone. That would stink. Certainly not what we want. Okay. So yeah, I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is a pretty big old knot right here. And that is not going to go through the fleece. Okay, perfect. All right, so this is how, I don't know what this stitch is called, but it's kind of like a wave, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and start on the left-hand side. We start from the inside. And then go ahead and push it out. Now, the way that this works, it's kind of like a wave. It's like it goes out, goes back in, goes back out, goes back in, goes back out, goes back in. And I'm not tightening it, okay? Only enough to where it just barely pulls on it barely pulls on the thread here, okay? And I'm going to do that all around here, okay? Just like this. Let me show you. So it went out. And this isn't going to go anywhere. That's why we had to do that big old knot. Back out. Back in. Goes back out. Goes back in. Now we're going to do this all throughout this, okay? This shouldn't take that long. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on some music. Oh, I pulled too hard on that. Turn on some music so I can enjoy this process. I'm going to speed it up. All right, so you guys got a gist of what I was doing. Like I said, going out, going back in, going out, going back in, kind of like a wave, okay? Kind of like a wave. So if I pull on this thread right here, it's going to close up like this, like it's already closing up a little bit. So I took that out because it was getting in my way. All right, so this is what we're going to do. This is how we put, here, I'm going to turn this on while I'm talking. Yeah, this thread was, this is a little bit too extreme. I should have gotten my, something else, something a little bit more appropriate. I will never use this, this invisible thread ever again. Anyways, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put a little bit, we're gonna put some hot glue right here. And then you want one thread or one shoelace facing up, another one facing down. Double check, always double check, make sure that the threads are even, and they are. And I'm gonna go like this, okay? I'm gonna go like this. Perfect. So the heat gun is, it's getting there. Getting there. Now you got to be really, really careful because this stuff is hot. It is unbelievably hot. Well, they call it a hot glue gun. I'm going to leave links in the description to all the tools that I use, or at least the ones that I can remember using. Alright. What's up? Alright. And then also just be mindful just to keep this away from you, okay? Keep this away from you. You don't want it getting in the way. Oh, hold on. Whatever. Fine. Just leave it there. Alright. The gun should be hot enough. Let's go ahead. Perfect. Down in it just a little bit. Okay. We're going to start sealing this. So this is not going to come out, become undone at any point in time. Alright. Let's get this top one out of the way really quick. Put a little bit of hot glue back here. Alright, good. You don't want to put too much underneath, but just a little bit. Okay. Start sealing this up. Get this guy out of the way. I'm gonna push down on this just a little bit. Alright. Good, good, good. Keep sealing it. Yeah. Oh, this is good. Maybe we can just put a little bit right there. Perfect. Okay. That looked very difficult, but it wasn't. Okay, so now we just got to play the waiting game, okay? We just got to wait. You need to wait for this to dry, and then I'm going to go ahead and really seal it up by doing a stitch right across. And yeah, this is going to be great. And then we're going to put all this together in a second, okay? So hang tight. All right. So I have. Let's do one of these at a time. Let me turn on the lights again. Okay. I'm gonna set that one to the side. Let's start with this guy right here. Okay. So we have our needle over here. We're gonna go straight across. From the inside out. Do one more of these. Good. That was very, very sloppy. Ignore that happened. Alright, there we go. And we're just gonna do a knot. Probably do two of them. Because why not? And while I'm doing this, I am having the hot glue gun. What the hell? Come on. There we go. The hot glue gun is on. And I'm gonna seal this up one more time. I'm only gonna put hot glue in the center, and oh yeah, she's ready. This is not gonna go anywhere, you guys. All right, that's all she wrote. Now you're not gonna see any of this at all, whatsoever. This is all gonna be hidden. And this is sealed, like, completely, so, I mean, it's not going to go anywhere, you guys. It's not going to go anywhere. And did we cut this? Yeah, we cut that. And we're going to do the exact same thing for this arm right here. All right, everybody. So we're just about ready to finish up. So we are going to be attaching doll joints, or just one doll joint down here. This is what it'll look like. And the hand, the actual hand of the puppet is going to attach here. Okay? Really, really straightforward. Let me show you how this is done. So, we might have to put a little bit more foam in here. Want there to be a little bit of a bounce. Okay. I think I only needed one, actually. Let's just go ahead and put one more. Just in case. Yeah. Alright. So the way that a doll joint works goes like that. You know what? Let's just do one. I want this even and uniform. There goes the main joint, and then the plastic washer. And then the same stitch that we used on the I guess where the shoulder is. We're gonna use that same stitch around here. We're gonna enclose it, but as we're enclosing it, we're gonna put hot glue just on the edges, okay? And then it's gonna close up, and this is gonna stay. It's gonna stay in place. So we're gonna leave that out. So let's just go ahead and do this. Do the stitch. All right. Let me make sure that I can see you guys. All right. So I'm going to pull out the stitching pony. Basically just another set of arms. Fuck. I don't have enough space. Down on that. So we need to get our washer and our actual doll joint. Goes in here like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press down on this son of a bench. Push down on it. I can hold it like that, or I could use a tool like this. I can hold it in place. And I'm gonna just apply the hot glue on the edges, and then I'm gonna seal this up. Seal it up everywhere, okay? So this should be pretty straightforward. I think just holding it might be better, but I don't know. I'm gonna try it like this. All right. Good as it's gonna get. Clean this up. All right, so the arms are officially complete. So that's basically it. So the doll joint, this is gonna be going into the hand, and it's gonna oh shit, and it's gonna go, and it's gonna just connect right there. I have to wait for that to dry before I can mess with any of this. All right, but yeah, doll joint goes in like that, guys. All right, work on the hands. All right, so now we gotta go ahead and prep the hands. So what I'm gonna do with these hands is cut them in half, okay? Literally in half all the way. If you don't have a fancy foam cutter like this Ryobi foam cutter, this USB one, you can go ahead and just cut it in half with a Persona blade, or you can have 2 sheets of really thin foam and sandwich them together, but I only have this for now and I don't really need anything else, so this will have to do. So let's go ahead and cut this in half. Make sure I'm aligned properly. Alright, so the foam cutter is doing the job for me. I'm just keeping it still, keeping it upright. Alright, it's cutting it pretty darn good. Cutting it real good. Not the most uniform, but this will do. Alright, there's our 2 pieces that we're going to sandwich together, so we're going to leave these over here. Now we got one more to do. This should probably be done in a well-ventilated area. And there's our 2 pieces that we're going to sandwich together. Let me go ahead and turn this off. Alright, so what we're going to do with these is we're going to use this wire here to, whatchamacallit? We're going to use this wire, and that's going to make the hands move about in the position that you would like. So we're going to set these aside. We need to go ahead and prepare the fabric. Okay, so we're going to need some pattern weights once again. We are now doing the fabric hand pattern. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and... the same pattern that we use for the foam is the same pattern that we're going to use for the fabric. And this is how I like to do my fabric hand patterns. So basically I get the skin of the puppet, the fleece, and I fold it in half. So both the yucky side is on top and on the bottom. And we're just going to invert this, we're going to just invert this after I'm finished sewing it, and then that's going to be your hand. Alright, well, let me go ahead and turn on the light so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Alright, so we're going to be doing the left and the right hand. Really straightforward. And if you're just going to be sewing this by hand, you can just cut out 4 hand pieces and sew them together like that. I do have written instructions on the hand pattern that you purchase. They're pretty detailed. Of course, you also have this video. Guide you along the way. Okay. Well, it looks great. So, do that. So when you're doing the left and the right hand, so this is going to be the right hand, and this is going to be the left hand. Got to flip it around like that, okay? Okay, perfect. So we are not going to cut this out at all, except for one place. We're just going to go ahead and cut this in half right there. Let me go ahead and get my scissors. As a matter of fact, I want to go ahead and hold this in place with my pattern weights while I cut this out. A nice clean line. Alright, so we can go ahead and begin sewing. Alright, so on both of these hand patterns on the fleece here, I did registration marks. So I'm going to start sewing from right here, and I'm going to stop right here. I'm doing that for both of the hands here, okay? And the reason why I'm doing that is because when we start putting this together, the actual hand, it needs to go in the fabric, right? And this is going to make sense when we get there. So we're going to stop right. We're going to start here, stop right there. Right up here, this is where the hand rod goes. And then obviously the foam pieces, they go, obviously they're sandwiched between the fleece. And it's gonna work out really great. Everything is going really well. So again, you don't need to do all this if you are going to be sewing by hand. If you're going to be sewing by hand, just cut out 4 of these hands. You know, you're going to have a right side and then a left side. And again, you just hand sew it just like this. Stop. Go ahead and put in your hand with the arm rod, etc., and then you're good to go. But we are doing this by machine. Let me go ahead and I always use a test strip. So give me one moment. All right. Now it's time to cut this out. So when we're cutting it out, we want to stay far, or not far, but we want to stay a little away from these stitches here. But around the registration marks where we didn't sew, we can go ahead and be right on the line. Alright, so this is pretty good. Came out really nice. Alright, so we got to trim the fat. You guys know what that means. I need my little baby scissors from Fiskar. Here we go. Alright. We're gonna need to flip this over. So we're gonna need that tool once again. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we gotta assemble this hand. We gotta do our best here. Alright, so, where do we begin? So, in order to give functionality to the actual hands or the fingers, we're gonna use armature wire, or we could use like this decorative wire. And it's really, really simple how we make these. I already went ahead and did them just because I'm, you know, this puppet specifically is gonna go somewhere. So you basically want to cut this in half, fold it in half. This one might be too short, but again, this is just an example. And go ahead and hold it. I'm gonna hold it like this for now. And yeah, just using this, I'm just pinching and twisting. And this is going to keep this together. And here, that's pretty good. Here, let's go ahead and squeeze this end right here. Well, this is actually kind of decent, actually. So yeah, you generally want a piece like this, and you generally want to also keep it as straight as possible when we are putting this into our puppet hand. Okay, so this is what's going to afford the hand to move around, and you know, so you can point, thumbs up, or whatever. You can grip little items, and yeah, it'll just go something like that. Okay, and it's going to keep it really rigid, and it just gives life to the puppet when you're able to control it. So the way that this is going to work, another thing that we're going to set up here, I'm actually just going to use that one instead of this, but we can use that for later. Another thing that we're going to need are the arm rods. Now, where do we put them? Okay, so this is the hand right here. Probably around right here, where I'm pointing. That's probably where we're gonna want it. So around right there where I'm pointing. So what I like to do, I like to use this tool, this Kinepix wire stripper. I'm just gonna go ahead and grab it like this. And I'm holding it real tight. You know, I'm actually going to use my left hand. No, I'm going to use my right hand. And I'm bending it. All right, perfect. And I'm going to make a little U or a little cane. Okay. I'm going to do that one more time. Because we're going to do both of these hands. Alright, nice grip. Stuff is pretty hard. Alright, and there's our little cane. So, gonna look like that. Alright, guys. And then we're gonna put hot glue on these. Hot glue around here. And then we're going to sandwich it just like that, okay? So let's just go ahead and do one at a time. All right? Let's do one at a time. And while I've been talking and doing all this, I have the hot glue gun running. That looks really good. All right, here goes nothing. You definitely want to put hot glue on the tips, the ends especially. All right, let's go ahead and sandwich this sucker. Let's see. I think this would be the one that we want. Ooh. Be very, very careful because this stuff is hot. Alright, we're going to do that one more time for the other hand. I'm trying to be as careful as possible not to agitate or move this guy around. And if I want to, I can probably lift open the sandwich pieces of sandwich foam and put a little bit more hot glue if I really wanted to. But I think this came out really, really good. Okay, so I'm not worried about it. Ooh. Messing up. Alright. Put these back where they belong. Perfect. All right, this is it, boys. Alright, so now we gotta wait about 30 minutes to an hour to let this dry. And then once it does, we're gonna go ahead and place this into here. If you're struggling to make this fit, just go ahead and use your persona blade and cut around. Thin this out. Thin it out on the sides, you know, kind of give it a little bit of a curve. But the thing about the foam is that it's a high density foam. You can really squish it in there, and this is going to blow up and look really, really nice. And of course, this has a lot of stretch to it, okay? This has a lot of stretch to it, and it should fit. And if not, again, just go ahead and trim it with a persona blade. Let me see if I have one right here so I can show you what that would look like. Okay, I do have one right here. And I'll just give you an example of what trimming this would look like. So just right here, just the sides. Yeah, this one's really dull, so it says sharpen on it, but you guys get the point. This is where you would cut. I mean, you can use scissors as well, whatever you're comfortable with. Yeah, this one's had a lot of use, so he's no good. I need to go put that guy away somewhere. All right, so yeah, so once we do that, we're gonna go ahead and put these in here, and then we're gonna go ahead and sew this up. This is going to go, our doll joint is gonna go something like here, something like that, and then we flick it into the arm, and then we're done. We're completely done with the arm. All right, so we're gonna let this dry. All right, so we're still gonna be waiting for the hot glue over here to cure and to really set itself up, so that none of that stuff is going to go anywhere. However, we can start attaching the arms to our puppet body, okay? Because the last thing we got to do is just put this over here, and this, I mean, this is going to be separate from the arm, okay? So once this is done, then we can connect it to the arm via the doll joint, but in the meantime, the arms itself can go into the body, okay? So we're going to get that situated right now. So what we got to do now, I probably should have done this a lot earlier, but it's no big deal. We're doing it now. The little gasket, before you like assemble the little mechanism in which the mechanism that gives the puppet modularity, hang on to this, hang on to that first, and we're gonna make some marks on our puppet body. So the shoelaces are gonna go through here, and again, this is gonna make sense, okay? So the shoelaces are gonna go through here, and they're gonna tighten up. And the arm is going to be seated right up against the body, so you're not going to see the shoelace color. You're not going to see any of the work that we did. All right. So the two holes, where do we put them? You want to put them between. We have a seam right here, and the seam right here. So kind of like in the middle. All right, so kind of in the middle. I'm eyeballing it. I've done this so many times. And I'm also feeling, I can put my finger in here and I can feel right where, you know, the foam is. And that's, we're just got a little bit of space to move. So I think right there is really good. So we're just we're actually gonna be using a Sharpie for once. Wow, that looks really great. Now we're gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. All right. All right, so this fabric shifted a little bit. Oh, I gotta clean that. Good. I don't want to get Sharpie on my. Okay, there we go. There we go. It shifted on me because I was trying to do something here. I gotta clean that up first, guys. I need to clean that up. I can't afford to get a Sharpie on this puppet. This is not my NPC puppet. This belongs to somebody else. So, go ahead and clean this up. Clean up this mess. Alright. So we need to do the exact same thing on this side, okay? So, I can feel around right where I need it. So, it's going to be here. Alright, that looks really good. This is probably the only time we're ever going to be marking the body of the puppet, the outside, the skin itself. Alright, so how do we punch holes through this very cleanly, very neatly? It's actually really, really simple. I'm going to link in the description this product. This is called an owl, okay? It's an owl. We're going to heat this up and go and stab it right there. Alright, so again, everything I'm doing is incredibly dangerous, and there's other ways to do this. So, one, please have permission to do this if you're a minor. Please read the instruction manuals on all the products that you will be using, all the tools that you'll be using, etc., etc. I'm not responsible for anything that you do. But as you read the instructions and you're in a well-ventilated area and you appreciate the process and you're not horseplaying, you're going to be all right. So we're going to heat up only the tip. Alright. Alright, so what I'm doing, I'm going in and then out. I'm just directly in, directly out. Very, very robotic. Very robotic, okay? Just, you see my hand? In and out. In and out. Because this is going to burn through the foam, it's going to burn through the fleece, so you got to go in and you got to go out. Do that one more time on this side. All right. In and out. Oh, shit. Yeah. Definitely do this in a well-ventilated area. Alright. And also, do not touch this. Give this a moment to cool off. Alright. So, again, all I'm doing... The tool does all the work for you. Alright? It goes through it. It's like easier than cutting through butter. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. Easier than cutting through butter. Alright, let's knock these two out. In, out. Get those fumes away from me. Alright, and what I'm looking for is a nice hole that punched right through. You know what? I don't think it went all the way through. Try this one more time. There was an obstruction. There we go. Now I got exactly what I wanted. All right. Make sure that's the case for these. Yep. All right, perfect. Let's do one more. We got one more to do, you guys. And then we're going to go back to the hands once I'm done with this. As a matter of fact, before I even get to the hands, I'm going to go ahead and attach the arms while we're on camera. All right? Just to illustrate the point. Because we're pretty much at the end of this. And then the body of this puppet is going to be completely done. We're done with the arms, done with the body itself, and then it's just the neck and the head. Alright. Let's boogie. Do not touch this. This is incredibly hot. Don't put it near any of your puppet stuff. Oh, yeah. This is a good hole. These are great. These look really, really good. These look really, really good. Really professional. You know what? We can probably spread this out a little bit more. Let me just make those, give those just a little bit more love. Oh yeah, this is much, much better. Alright, so the body is pretty much ready to go. Now, let's just give it a minute to cool off. And, yeah, we'll get back to it. Alright, so I already got one of the hands done. It came out really, really good. So we're going to do the exact same thing. Alright, we don't need to have this here for now. Okay, so... Alright, so what we're doing is we're getting our fabric... And we're gonna put it over this. We might have to trim a little bit over here, but I mean, this is all squishy. Okay, so yeah, easy does it. All this is stretchy. Alright, so the way that this is going to work is we're going to do a ladder stitch all throughout down here, and then we're going to tie it off and knot it off down at the bottom of the hand with the whip stitch. But yeah, so this is going to close up real nicely. All right. That was quite a struggle, but we got through it. All right. So, what just to recap what we did. We did a ladder stitch all throughout here, all the way through here, and we stopped right here at the very end, and then I just did a really quick whip stitch since I still had a little bit of access to the inside of the hand. So I'm gonna use my Xeron flush cutters. I'm not trying to cut the knot, I'm just barely trying to cut the invisible thread here. Alright, and now that piece of thread is blending in with the hand. Alright, so this is the hand, you guys. Are we done yet? Almost. There's this one thing that I really want to do. So we're gonna go ahead and turn on the hot glue gun. Check out the battery. Whoops. Whoops. I always take out the battery for safety reasons. Alright, so we're gonna let that on. Alright, so basically what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna put a little bit of hot glue right here. A little bit right here. I just want to seal. I want to seal off these threads. All right. And then this hand is going to attach to this arm, just like that. Okay. So let's get this needle out of the way so it doesn't go missing and stab me in the foot. I almost had that scare once. Yeah, so these needles suck. I ordered some brand new John James and some Bohan hand needles. I just need something a little bit more premium, just significantly better than this. Okay, so it looks like we're good to go. Alright, well, let's wait for this to dry. Alright, let's finish up these arms once and for all. So, it's really easy to attach this. It's going to take a little bit of elbow grease. So, all I'm doing is pushing this in. And you know you're good when you hear an audible click. Alright. It's definitely not what I wanted. All right, that's it. All right, now we got to attach this to the body. Now look how easy, look how nice the mechanism in which this is put together. Look how easy it is for it to disappear. So I'm just reaching in and pulling on this. I'm gonna do the same thing for this side, or for the bottom shoelace. Okay. Boom. We're almost there. Alright, so let's keep these guys separate. This is the top. This is the bottom. All right. All right. All that's left to do is the head, the neck, and the face, and we're pretty much done. All right, guys. Now this is for reals. The very end of the video, the very last part. I totally forgot to put the wooden handle portion of this hand build in the video because I was in a rush to send out the arm that I built. However, I'm going to show you how to do it now. I already showed you what we do at the top here, where this goes into the actual hand of the puppet. And the way that this is supposed to work, all right, this is going to be facing you. So imagine this is a puppet hand, and then the rod goes right here, okay? So this is facing forward, facing the audience, if you will. If you're performing the puppet in front of a group, this is facing the audience. So there's the hand, all right? So the handle is... I like to, again, if you're going to be doing this yourself, you can do it any way that you'd like. This is how I like to do it. So I'm going to get one of these little starter punches. Oops. There we go. All right, so there we go. That's going to start us off right here. Now, the reason why I like to do it this way, here, I'm going to do that one more time. This is just like a pre-pilot hole, if you will. I like to have these offset, the circles offset. I don't like it in the center. And the reason why is when you're operating a puppet, I like my thumb or my finger to rest on here. So now if this is, okay, again, this is facing the audience right here. And obviously when you're holding it, let's say, and you want a little rest, you're not going to leave it like this because you're not in front of the puppet. You're going to be standing off to the side, if you will. So like imagine this is facing the audience. This is the side. And then this is how the puppet handle is going to be inserted into this rod here. And my hand is going to be like this. This is what it's physically going to look like. So be mindful of that, okay? So we have quite a few tools here. Now, you don't really need something like this. I actually use this for firearms when I'm staking a castle nut. So I'm using that to mark where I'm going to be drilling into these little wooden dowels here. And I ended up cutting these to length, so roughly around 6 inches long. And I smoothed them out. They generally have a flat profile. I love the flat profile on both sides. And these, if you'd like, you can stain them, you can paint them black, whatever. Again, for the arm rods, I like them to just be a neutral color. I do have like these like welding rods, these other welding rods that are like these copper rods, and they're golden. I don't really like that because they're shiny, so I'll end up just lightly sanding them and painting them black. So regardless, if you're a puppet, you can do whatever you like. I like to leave some of the welding rods, if they're already a flat color like this, I like to just leave them as is, okay? We're gonna need a drill gun. And it's on the drill setting, of course. And of course, I'm using masking tape to mark off where I want to stop. So around right there is going to be good, okay? I am going to need a Dremel for this, okay? And we are going to use epoxy glue. This is the best glue to use. 5-minute epoxy resin. We got the hardener, and then we actually have the resin right here. So this is great. We're going to mix these up. And I'm going to use this cardboard here as my little plate to hold this. And I just cut another little piece of cardboard just so I can mix it up, so I'm not wasting material, okay? So let's go ahead and start with the rods. I'm going to have this away from me. I'm going to have the Dremel, or the rotary tool, I apologize, on the highest setting. And attached, I have a metal cutting disc. Ryobi sells them, Milwaukee sells them, Dremel sells them. You can pick these up at Harbor Freight, Ace Hardware, Home Depot, Lowe's, etc., etc. So let's just go ahead. Let me get this out of the way. Am I in view? Yeah. Okay. Let's go. Okay, so what I am doing here is I created these little notches, okay? Oh, jeez. Yeah, I created these little notches on the wooden handles. Now, the reason why I like to do that is so the epoxy glue has a place to settle, right? Because if I just throw it in a rod as is, I mean, it's only going to be gripping onto the edges here instead of getting inside these little notches that I made and really hardening up and grabbing onto more things, and it's not going to go anywhere, you guys. This is going to be really, really secure. Okay, so this is pretty good. Around 3 notches should be okay. If you want to do a little bit more, you're more than welcome to. So yeah, I could probably do one more, a couple more notches here. Let's go ahead and do that. All right. All right, boom, shakalaka. Okay, so let's go ahead and drill our holes. So I already went ahead and used my little punch to basically get us started. So when I'm drilling, it's not going to be like, get out of the way. Nice and straight down. Yep, and it stopped right there at the masking tape. Now I'm going to hold on to this really quick, and I'm just going to let it do its thing. Do that one more time. Yeah, I'm going to try to give you guys the exposed view. All right. So if you're struggling to put your rod in, try to treat it like a screw. So remember how screws work: righty, tighty, lefty, loosey. So just do right. But just remember, no matter what, and also push down. Push down as you're doing this, okay? And then remember the offset. Oh, this is perfect. This is perfect. So there's a little bit of resistance. Okay, there's a little bit of resistance. So remember, if my hand is like this, I want more space also towards the front of the audience. So remember, this is the puppet hand. Imagine this is the puppet hand. All right. And when I'm performing with the puppet itself, so this is the puppet hand. This is my human hand. And I'm like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, but again, I'm just demonstrating to you what that's supposed to look like. It came out easy, but I had to use quite a bit of force. So, you know what? I'm going to use the brown side really quick. Get this dust out of here. Ugh. Ugh. Oh no, what happened? What the hell is all this? Oh. There's markings on this and I don't like it. Well, it's a work table, all right? It's supposed to happen. All right. So, here's my mixer. We have the glue, the way that this glue works. So if I put a little dot here, we're going to put an equal amount of dot over here. Equal amounts of red and blue, okay? Do this in a well-ventilated area. Wear a mask, because this stuff is stinky. The way that this works is it starts hardening up as soon as you mix the 2-part glues together. I'm going to leave a link in the description to this specific epoxy that I am using. All right, so again, we have equal part red, equal part blue. And then we're going to go ahead and mix it. Oh, wait. Before we do that, get yourself a little rag because it can make a mess, okay? I have shop towels here. All right. Where's my mixer? Here it is. All right, let's mix them up. Just like this, you guys. Well, at the very least, these arm rods are going to be ready when I do another NPC build or another puppet build in general. God, this stuff stinks like hell. Alright. Let's start with this one first. Alright, we're going to take it out. Put some more glue on there. Mix it up, because why not? Alright, let's do this one more time. You only got to do this twice, or you only should do this twice. Alright, remember you guys, this is going to be facing me. I want the extra space of the arm rod to be facing the audience, facing forward. Let's go ahead and use our shop towel, or you know what I'm talking about. Damn, that looks really, really good. This looks really, really good. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and leave that over here. Like that. And we're going to do the exact same thing for this arm as well. Alright, looks pretty good. Take it out really quick. Let's go ahead and mix this up just a little bit more. This is perfect. This came out really, really good. So remember, now we're going to wait for this to dry up before I throw it away because I don't want this sticking to the side of my trash can. But remember, this is my hand. And this is my puppet hand right here. I'm going to pretend this is my puppet hand. And this is the actual this is my physical human hand that I'm using to operate the puppet. Remember, this is what it's going to look like, you guys. You see that? See how this is supposed to work? I'm going to leave this sitting there. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to let this cure. So within 5 minutes, it should be really hardened. But realistically, 24 to 48 hours to properly cure. All right. This is the conclusion of my modular puppet hands and arms. And hopefully you guys enjoy this. Again, link in the description to buy these patterns. And again, you don't need to buy the patterns. But if you buy the patterns, one, you help me. And you support the channel, you support puppetry, you support independent artists, and I do sincerely appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. God bless. I'm filming this the day before Thanksgiving, so I am thankful to everybody who stuck around, watched the video, and is supporting puppetry. And you know what? They're going out there and they're making really cool stuff. So peace out, everybody. God bless.